after watching the tape, give a lot of credit to LSU. They're a good football team, top 5 program. Uh, we didn't have the discipline or the consistency that it takes to go win on the road in this conference. I think, as a head coach, you have a vision of what you want your team to look like, and when it doesn't look that way, you look at yourself first. But we're going to continue to work and get the problems fixed. But that was disappointing that you work hard and you have this vision. When it doesn't show up the way you want it to, you're disappointed. But we'll continue to work to get it fixed. That starts with me, and we will. And looking at the tape, there were some positives to take from it. But ultimately, consistency is the key to win in this league. You have to be consistent, offensively, defensively, special teams. There has to be consistency there, and there wasn't there. It wasn't there, and that starts with me. But coming out injury-wise, just disappointed. C.J. Moore tore his pec, so he'll be out for a couple of weeks, maybe indefinitely. We just got to check and see what we can do. We're getting a couple of opinions right now, but he will definitely be out this week. And we're hoping to get Victor Evans back, so hopefully we'll get him back. We're going to move Armani Linton from running back to the secondary to hopefully give us some depth back there. He's done it before and he knows it, so hopefully he can give us some depth right there. Looking at ULM, got a lot of respect for Coach Viator. He does a good job. What sticks out immediately is the win over Southern Miss. But they got a really athletic quarterback. He's our leading rusher. Marcus Green's from right down the road here. He's our leading receiver. He does a really, really good job in the slot. And they're very, very active on defense. So we'll have a work cut out for us. But, again, after a tough loss, you're looking forward to getting back on the practice field and going back to work.
Hey, raise your hand if you have a question. Bring the microphone to you. We'll start with Harris at front.
Hey, Matt, you mentioned discipline and whatnot and winning in these SEC games. How do you arrive at more discipline? How do you get your players there? And when you say that, are you talking or thinking about the penalties?
Yeah, I think obviously you can't have that many penalties and win games. That's not us. That's not who we are. And you can look at each one of them, and I have over and over and over again, and you can try to justify it, but it's too many to win games. And so I think we got to make sure we keep harping on the little things, and I think we will, and I think the kids will respond.
A couple of late hits out of bounds. Were those frustration?
I thought the one from Zedrick Woods at the end of the game was really, really good effort, and I thought it was bang bang. The one with Ruggs was late.
Yeah.
Questions?
Coach, first half, do you feel like maybe you got away from the run a little bit too early?
Yeah, well, again, I think in our RPO stuff, Scotty does have a lot of yards per carry because of he's running into very, very good looks. And so when they do bring pressure and they have one-on-ones, we've made a living out of making those plays. And I think that's who we are. And when people do bring pressure and leave one-on-ones, we believe, and I know we can make those plays.
Matt, in today's world where everybody wants to win immediately, what do you tell your fan base to hang in there with us?
I mean, just, nobody has, well, I can't say nobody. There's a lot of people that have passion for Ole Miss football, and I'm one of those people. And we are working really, really hard every single day to put a product on the field. Now, it didn't look the way we wanted it to look on Saturday, but we're going to continue to work, and we need to all be pulling in the same direction. And would love for everybody to show up on Saturday, and let's keep working to get this program where we all want it to be.
Matt, when it comes to the drop passes and even just plays that we're used to seeing your receivers make, do you see any themes there that explains that?
I don't think so. I mean, some of it, I think when you play against a good team, they force you to execute, and I think when you don't execute, it shows up a little bit more. In a tough environment against top programs, you have to be consistent. You can't have any inconsistencies or they get magnified. And sometimes, if you're winning a game or when you win a game, they don't get magnified, but in big games they do. So I think we have to make sure we stay consistent because that's what you have to do to win in this league. This is the best league in college football, but it's what you sign up for and what you expect.
Matt, following up on the fan story, I know that you say y'all don't pay attention to a lot of media coverage and whatnot during the season, but is it difficult to keep morale up for players after another big loss?
You know what? I think it's very, very important that you stay, keep it inside. I mean, because that's where it starts, is from the inside out. And these players, they go through a bunch, but I think they're very, very resilient. And you can see that on Sunday when they come to practice. They work really, really hard. They were embarrassed about what happened on Saturday too, and I think they want to go back out and improve to everybody what they're capable of. So I like this team, and again, just we're excited about the opportunity to go get it fixed.
We'll take questions up top.
Hey, Coach, last year you had a similar stretch like this, but good performance at Auburn, the win at Kentucky, the momentum built to the Egg Bowl. What was the magic formula last year to kind of turn it around?
And it's funny that you use the term magic formula, because and that's what I told the team Sunday. There is no magic formula. It's just hard work and going to get better week in and week out. And again, when you have a vision, you have to work till that vision comes to life. And I think you just got to go trying to keep getting better and getting better, because there were some good things that happened on the tape, and you have to take that and you have to learn from it and move forward. But I think there is no magic formula. There is no quick fix. It's just hard work day in, day out, and getting better.
Coach, what do you – up top up here. Through 5 games so far this season, what do you feel like your team's mindset is right now and their focal point?
You know what? I think we're looking and searching for consistency. There's been flashes of really good stuff on both sides of the ball. I thought our defensive line in the game did a lot of good things in the game, and the same thing in the offensive line. It's just you can't have breakdowns. You have to be consistent. And again, that's coaching, and it starts with me and helping them be consistent. But I think that's what we're searching for, and that's what we'll be working toward.
And one more. You mentioned Marcus, of course, from Ecru, North Pontotoc. When you watch him on tape, what makes him so special?
Well, I mean, you see a redshirt senior, so you know he's experienced and he's paid his dues, and he's very, very quick, very, very good in the slot. What they use him to do, speed sweeps and reverses, it just they're utilizing his skill set really, really well, and he's a really, really good player.
We'll take more questions down here.
Talk a little bit about the decision to call a timeout there on the 4th down when LSU and then Ole Miss jumps all sides.
Yeah, so again, as far as the alignment, we didn't want to give it up, and then they sent their offense back out there, and that's a typical situation where they're going to try to draw you off sides, and one that we've practiced, but we haven't practiced it enough because we jumped, and so that's I think that's a kid trying to make a play, but again, that goes back to putting in that situation so many times that we don't mess it up. So, I'll take the blame for that one.